Welcome back to episode 40 in the Youthful Revolution series featuring Immortal DC. The season is over and we will be looking into the statistics and the review of the 7th season. We will be starting with some of the statistics from the Premier League, starting with the yellow cards where two of our players, the two fullbacks, is in there as, well, yeah, we got most yellow cards on both players there. 14 and 11 for Ramirez and Hoffer. Not too surprising with the way we are playing, to be honest. But thankfully, what we don't have this season is many red cards. We actually only have one, as far as I can tell. It's only Gregor making that red card. That was definitely a big deal compared to last season, where we had how many? 10 or 11 red cards? Only one this time around. Both Iber and Gregor is in the top 20 when it comes to player of the matches. 4 for Iber and 3 for Gregor. Pretty interesting metric is also the distance covered per 90, where Vanderson is straight in there, right? He is running quite a lot each game. Also Gonçalves on a 3rd place. Padilla, who is no longer with us, down here on 12. Ugarte and Correa is also down here. Balbino, one of our own intakes, is also on this list. That's really nice to see. Unfortunately, none of our players got into the top 20 average ratings. There are just too many good players in here. From Sporting and Porto and Benfica. Yeah, Jared Bowen is in there. Savio have been an absolutely fantastic player for so many years now in this league. Yeah, we just don't get in there right now. De Paula is a number 7, or is it 6? I'm not too sure. Yeah, it must be equal 6th here with Gimenez on 13 goals. Quite a few goals up to Goikers. Goikers is just too good. Shots on target percentage here. Moisey is number 2 on the list. 64% of the time he gets it on target. Now, he was our penalty taker, so he did have a lot of easy ones on target, but still, that's really high. Conversion rate is also an interesting one. Unfortunately, De Paula is not in here. He should be. He really should be. But Correa is, Teglasi, and also Cesar is in here, which is nice to see at least 3 of our players on this list. Most assists for the season, it was Reise Nilsson. Yeah, I can't really compete with 15 assists. That's a lot. But Ramirez, like I said, he is going to be an important player for us, and he was an important player this season with 10 assists. Also Hopfer is up there with 8, so the two fullbacks is definitely doing their duty. And if we're taking a look at the assist per 90, he's also up here, Ramirez, and also Hopfer a little bit lower, but still it's fairly good. Total amount of key passes, Hopfer is on this list 11th. He got 62 key passes. That's a lot. I mean, it is nowhere near the top, but it's still fairly good for a fullback. And maybe even more interesting is it that he's on 2nd place when it comes to open play key passes, which is probably the most important one to, you know. Yeah, it's definitely the most important one. I think a lot of these open key passes is actually coming from our long throws, where he's throwing it into someone, then that guy is passing it back to Hopfer, and Hopfer is gonna, you know, cross it in, and by that creating an open play key pass. As we can see here, chances created. Also, Hopfer is in there. 19 chances, oh, not 21, 19 chances as well. A really good amount here for him. Now, this is gonna be an interesting one because cross completion. I would have thought maybe someone else would be in here, but no. Cross completion, Tom Reinhardt and also Valencia is in here. I guess they are not crossing it that often, but I mean, that's Reinhardt is actually more of a fullback than he is a central defender. So maybe we should start using him as a fullback. I don't know. I don't think he can take Hopfer's place right now, but 40%, that is a high amount. Open play expected assist, Hopfer and Ramirez is on the list, 7th and 8th. Perfect for me. I am really happy with that. Non-penalty XG per 90 minutes. Look at that. Teglashi here is up there, our loan deal. That is, that's kind of interesting. Also, you know, thinking about, we do have that 5 million buyout clause for him. I still don't think, I think it's too much still, but it's definitely interesting. Also, De Paula and Fragoas is down here on 18th and 19th spot. Not too bad, actually. How about our goalkeepers? Expected goals prevented per 90 minutes, and I got to say, I am not too happy with seeing both Beck and Janine that low. They are actually not doing too well here. Clean sheets per 90 on the other hand, Beck is actually doing fine, but I think it's got more to do with our central defenders and also fullbacks doing really well defensively speaking, and also the tactic overall, because again, they are not really looking too good in here. They are not really saving all the goals that they should be saving. Another very interesting metric here for us is the cross completed per 90. Ramirez and Hopfer is in here. They are doing okay, at least to me that is fine. Open play key passes per 90, Hopfer is second in the league for that one. Ramirez is also fairly up there, and Eber on a 20th spot here as an inside forward. That's pretty good as well. What about progressive passes per 90? We do not have anyone on that list, unfortunately. We are not very progressive in that matter. This season we have been more in control and waiting for that gap to open up. And again, just to confirm how good they actually were here, open play crosses completed per 90, Hopfer and Ramirez 5th and 6th in the league. That is excellent. And when it comes to defending, one of the really important things to me is the headers won ratio percentage, and we do have 3 players in here, which is really, really good. We got Adrio, who has been fairly decent. He had a couple of mistakes in him, but overall, very good defender. Ramirez, yeah, he actually got some really good jumping reach. That's also why I really like this guy as a fullback, because he is very good in the air as well. Reis is also on the list, so very, very good by our defenders here. So back to the goalkeepers here, just to look at Beck. Yeah, Janin is not in here, so save percentage in percent is... Save percentage, Conrad Beck, only 69%. He is nowhere near the best in the league, unfortunately, but I honestly, I don't think we will actually be able to get a better goalkeeper than him, because we can only go out and buy 19-year-olds. I think we got to go with him, and same with Janin. I don't think we're going to get anyone better, but it doesn't look good, and it is probably going to become a problem in the long term. But hopefully he can improve on this. A quick look in the data hub as well. Let's take a look at the XG table to begin with. And as we can see, plus 13 in XG, that is excellent. Plus 0 in expected goals against, so I guess that's okay. And expected points total is plus 8. Not bad at all. 4th place as well. So we did what we should and we got it. The defensive efficiency hasn't really been that great overall, but I think it's still better than last season. But I would like to see us even closer to Benfica or to Porto. But I mean, just being in the green is pretty good. We're actually better than Porto when it comes to defensive efficiency. So I'm fairly happy with that, actually. So the goalkeeping in here in the data hub does look better than what it probably is. I think this is down to also our defensive shape and also the tactical stuff. I really don't honestly think that Beck or what is the other guy's name, our other goalkeeper, our backup, have been all that great. So I think this is kind of deceiving. I'm a little bit surprised about our tackling not being that great, actually. Our tackle-1 ratio hasn't really been that great this season, but maybe it's because... I think it's because we are actually letting the attackers cross it in, and we are actually blocking more or intercepting it a lot more than we are actually tackling. So I think that's the main reason why we are this low. So team defending overall statistics here is kind of interesting to me. I think the position 1 is exactly where it should be. Very, very high. Even better than last season. I think we are around 1,000 more in position 1 than last season. So that's good. Final third passes against. We are not allowing them in there. I mean, if we are allowing them, it's because of those crosses into the box, and then we are intercepting them. I think that's how it's gonna be. I think that's just how it went here. Fouls made per game, yeah. Obviously, we are making a lot of fouls conceded, and expected goals against is about the same, so that's okay. Clean sheets is 12. That's really, really good. Tackles 1, yeah, we saw that was fairly low, but I think we're just intercepting quite a lot more. Actually, we should go look for that statistics. And opposition passes per defensive action also 5.3. But let's take a look at the interceptions. No, that's actually not the case here. Clearances and also blocks, which I thought would be a lot higher, is actually not that high. That is... So apparently, maybe it's also because we are having more possession this time around, but apparently we're not good at tackling, we're not good at blocks, we're not good at clearances. So I don't really know what's going on here when it comes to our defensive. Because the defense was good overall, right? Our defense are good. And so I don't know how we're actually winning the possession back. It's kind of, okay, fair enough. But how did we win it? We did, but I don't know how. Speaking of how we are getting the ball, well, pressing intensity is of course important. Not that I still don't understand how we can get the ball off the opposition that often when we don't really block, tackle, or, you know, it seems a little bit ridiculous. But in terms of the high intensity, yeah, it's up there, right? It's up there. We got some really high defensive lines, average defensive line height per game, very, very high. Not even as high as Portugal or Benfica, but it's up there. Opposition passes per defensive action. Yeah, quite too many, I would say. I would like to be down here, so we're not quite as aggressive. Again, we're probably letting them on the outside and then letting them cross it in, and by that winning it over. I think, you know what, now when I think about it, I think a lot of the times how we get the ball is just by winning the headers, right? We're just winning the headers and then we're taking the ball off them that way, which is not a block and it's not a tackle and it's not an interception either. It's just a pass basically a lot of the times. But when it comes to our own crosses, we're actually looking quite good here. Lots of crosses, accurate crossing, not quite as good as Porto or Benfica here, but still fairly decent. Our efficiency on the set pieces when it comes to attacking part is still not quite where I want it to be. I would really like us to be more up here, and I thought we would actually be up here, but no, we're still in the red. Low XA per game and fewer crosses per game. Yeah, not too great. I wish we could score a little bit more on the corners especially. But then again, we do score on those long throws, right? We do score a lot of the long throws. It's just not directly on the long throw, it's on the second ball. Or from the second ball, so to speak. Attacking efficiency is actually looking quite good here. Aggressive shooting, clinical shooting, and it's up there. We're one of the better teams in the league when it comes to our shooting. Oh, I guess we should have looked at this one before, but goals from set pieces, as we can see here, not quite what we want to see. Yeah, I think we should definitely be up here. We should definitely be in the green up here somewhere, but we just can't really find enough goals on the set pieces for some reason. And that's mostly the corners I'm talking about here. But still, it's not bad either. It's just not... It's kind of average. I definitely hope we can see a improvement next season. The pitch tilt is actually kind of better this season. I believe we were over here last season, like way over here actually. Now we are in the green, and we definitely are better for final third passes per game here. So yeah, we are definitely looking better in this area. A very interesting one here is the possession, because we do not actually win the possession all that often for some reason. It's only, what is it? Possession won per game, only 9 or only what, 80, 87 or something like that. That seems incredibly low when we are top of the list when it comes. That's really strange. But I think it got to do with us also not really losing possession all that much. We're just a more control-based team. As we can see here, we are not losing the ball that often. We are actually second just to Famalicão is the only one not losing it more than us. That is, we are right next to Porto here, right? So, or Sporting, yeah, we're right next to Sporting here. So actually, I think this is kind of good. This might be actually a really good statistic. And overall, the whole team attacking is looking like this, which is, I think it's good. Obviously, we're not a dribbling kind of game. I'm actually going to change that. I'm going to start developing more of one of the new DNA is dribbling. So I want to slowly and steadily get into dribbling more and more, because we want to be in more and more control. And if we are in more and more control, we can also allow some of the players to dribble more, and thereby creating chances in a different way as well. So yeah, I think we want to do that. But overall, I'm very happy with what this looks like. We are definitely not one of the top teams, but we are better than the average teams in there. So that's at least good to me. Alright, so let's come over to the squad screen and take a look at the average rating, the points total, and also team conceded and stuff like that. So highlighted here is what is top performers, at least to me. So in the games he did play, Tiglassi did manage to get 7.08. Jesus. Yeah. Balbino, he didn't play a lot, but he played enough to actually put him on this list. 4 assists in only 12 subs and 3 starting. That is kind of good. That is actually kind of good. And as you can tell, his DNA is not too far from what we are looking for. He do have 4 numbers that are in the white and 1 in red, but overall, not bad. The big worry about him is his jumping reach here. Not great, but still, he's definitely someone we can rely on as a backup, that's for sure. De Pauler is up there. I mean, scoring 17 goals in the season is incredible, and he's still looking good for next season, I would say as well. Hopfer is in there, looking really good. Reinhardt, Ramirez, Beck. I would definitely put Beck in there as well. 6.99. I think that's decent, but we do know that he's probably not the best goalkeeper in the league, but he's okay for our level right now, I think. And Cesar also had a really good end to the season here. The last, like, 15 games, he really came into, I mean, when we started playing with the 4-2-3-1 instead of the 5-2-3 or whatever it was, he definitely came alive here, and I think he could be one of the best players at the club in the future. Look at those DNA, or look at his DNA here, just absolutely excellent. At the other end of the spectrum here, when it comes to average ratings, I would say Reis is a little bit low, but it's not incredibly low, but just compared to where he probably should be, he should probably have a little bit more in average rating. David Ugarte, I mean, he did okay, and I think he will get better. The more we have possession, I think the better he will become. So that could be good for us. Iba and Moyes, the two, well, for the most part, those are the two inside forwards on the left-hand side. None of them had specifically good seasons, but they had period of really good. They were very inconsistent, that's what I'm trying to say. They had really good periods, but they also had some really terrible parts of the season. So I'm not too happy about Iber and Moisey here, but I think overall, especially Moisey, he looks like a very, very good player. So I think I'm not too... 7 goals and 2 assists, not terrible either. So yeah, I think that's okay. Points, 1 per game. I think it's one of the most important metrics to look at, even more important than the average ratings. So again, Balbino, he's up there. He's just winning games when he's out there for some reason. I mean, we don't have a lot of games for him to get this out of, but still, I think it's worth a mention. Definitely worth a mention here. Grego Len, while he don't really have the highest average ratings, he's winning a lot of points when he's playing. Ludwig as well, 6.88 is very good for a midfielder, I would say, especially when he also wins, you know, most of our games compared to the rest of the players. Hopfer is up there, not too surprising about that. Correa is there, I'm surprised about that actually. I would have thought he would be further down the list, but no, he's up there. Iber, who didn't really have a good season in terms of his average, he do manage to get a good amount of points, and so does Janin, who is of course the backup goalkeeper. He also did well when he did play for us, so I'm pretty happy with having a really good backup goalkeeper. At the other end of the spectrum, yeah, I think Jurgensen, he wasn't, I mean 1.5 is pretty low, but he also didn't really play that many games. More interesting to see is Aterjo is down here, because he did play a lot of games and only 1.88. That is slightly concerned, because that is 0.10 less than probably the average, right? I'm a little bit concerned about that, to be honest. Why is he down here? I do not know. Maybe because he was letting too many mistakes away by him trying to dribble, because we are playing with ball-playing defenders. So maybe next season when we're playing with central defenders or even no nonsense, he will do better. Also, Teglassi is down here, but again, he didn't really play that many games, so it's hard to tell, and we had some really hard opponents near the end. So it's, yeah, it could be... And do I care? Because he's only a loan deal. I'm not gonna buy him for 5 million, so it doesn't really matter too much, I suppose. Ramirez, 1.91. That's strange. Why is he down here? I don't know. I don't know why he would be down here. I mean, it's not that far from the average. Like 2.0 is probably the average. So it's probably okay. It's just a little bit concerned, but his tackling is definitely not good. So, but he does win a lot in the air, but his tackling is not that great, right? 5 in tackling. That's not good for a fullback. But maybe next season, well, next season we are not playing fullback, so maybe he will be more aggressive and let someone else do some more of the defensive duties instead of him. We'll see about that. Team goals conceded per 90, a very interesting metric, especially for Balbino, who he kept a clean sheet all the way through, all the games he played. Every single time he was on the pitch, we didn't concede. That is absolutely mad. That is a mad kind of statistic for him to have. Ludwig, 0.82, probably the best of the starting 11 players. So again, Ludwig, probably I wouldn't say my favorite player, but I think he's probably overall a very, very high potential player. I think he's just quality in that midfield, just very good quality in there. Jurgensen also did okay in terms of that, so he, yeah, probably because he's pressuring a lot more, and by that also giving us the ball a lot more, and thereby being far away from our own goal. So I think that's how it works. Hopfer again up here as one of the best players. Grego Lin did really well in this one as well. Moisey is in here. That's good to see, because he was very inconsistent, but at least when he did play, he didn't really concede a lot of goals, so that's good. And also Beck, our main goalkeeper, is in here. At least I think we should give him that. Who is a player of the season? Well, to me, it's actually a hard one this season. I think there are 5 players that I highlighted here. Ludwig, Hopfer, Di Paula, Ramirez, and Reinhardt. They have all had really good seasons, and it's really hard to pick one of them. But I think because of the 17 goals Paula have scored here, I think I got to give it to him with also the rest of his stats. I think Di Paula. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Di Paula. Also worth a mention here at the end of the season is our dynamics, which looks absolutely, well, excellent, like it says here. Team cohesion is also going up, and that is good. The hierarchy is definitely developing in our favor now. Hopfer and Di Paula as the team leaders, high influential players. Jürgensen, Reis and Gregolin. I would like to keep all of them, but I think Jürgensen is probably going to be a backup moving forward like he was this season. And also 2 new influential players. Actually, I think Carrera was already in there, but Cesar is actually an influential player now. That's kind of interesting. He hasn't been here more than 1 season, but he's already stepping up, so that's good. I'm not too sure about Carrera. I think we actually want to sell him, but we'll see about that. He's on a very high wage, and I don't really see him as a starter, so I might want to try and get him out. But otherwise, very, very good when it comes to the dynamics. Finally, the board have announced the new stadium plans that will go ahead. It's gonna cost us 13 million. Wow, that's a lot. Capacity 12,000, that is excellent. That is definitely securing our future for a while here with the fans. And what else? It's gonna be finished in next summer. Next summer it's gonna be finished, so it's gonna take around a year to build it. But so what else? The board have secured a loan, so we are in loan. We're in debt now, but that's okay. And we have additional funding with the stadium sponsorship deal with 5 million. Nice, really good. I am really happy with that. And here is the end of season review. As always, let's go take a look. The season results, well, obviously, the league table is excellent for us. 4th place is outstanding. I don't think we could have asked for anything better here. We got the playoff next season that we have to play. That is gonna be interesting to see if we can do anything in those and get into the Champions League, or if we just get knocked out into the European League. In either case, I'm happy about it. Very, very happy, actually. And as we can also tell here, again, we are pretty much maxing out our attendance, so good thing we are getting a new stadium. The board, yeah, the board is loving it, right? We are qualifying for the UEFA Champions League. Wow, that was really hard to say for some reason, but fantastic. Overall, just fantastic. Portuguese Cup, I think we should have done better. I hope we can do better next season. I hope we can kind of get a little bit further, maybe into a semi-final. That would be nice. Semi-final or final, that's probably what we're going to aim for next season. BVT got us out of the quarterfinal here. And the Portuguese League Cup, well, maybe we can do better next season. I don't know. I'm still more interested in the league, but I am definitely also interested in winning trophies. We are getting into a stage now in the next season where we probably are looking also to win a trophy, and if we could, we would like to go pretty far in one of these competitions. Moments to remember: biggest win, a 5-0 against Torrance. Alright, that's not bad at all. I guess a 5-0 is the biggest one. And match to remember, I don't know why I don't remember this match, right? It's in the League Cup. Why would I care? That makes no sense. There are so many good wins, and again, it doesn't make sense to me. The match to remember doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense to me. Cesar with goal of the season. I don't remember if I have that on my list. I need to check up on that. Oh, I do have it on my list, but it is not my number 1. It is my number 2, actually. But let's take a look at it. This is my number 2, and also, well, goal of the season from the fans. Alright, here it is. Moisey back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt playing it out to Moisey again, but it's actually ending up at Ramirez. Cesar. Oh yeah, it's a kind of nice shot, isn't it? It's really lovely. 3rd best goal for me was a Fragois long shot here against Sporting. A very, very important goal to get the draw. But the best goal for me was actually Valencia's long shot here. Ludwig into a Valencia, and he's gonna take his shot. There is for sure an argument that Cesar's is better than Valencia's. I think both of them are sort of similar in quality, but yeah, that is the top 3 goals of the season. The finances and also the club reputation, that's actually, I think that gone up. Wasn't it, I think national, no, we were also national last season. I have some struggle with this. I hope we are going up further in this because it will attract better players, and it will also attract maybe the potential thing that could happen where we could get into the under-19th league. I mean, we are going into our 8th season, and still we are not, nor the B team or the under-19s is playing in any leagues, and there are so many leagues in Portugal. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Korea sold most shirts. Now that's ridiculous as well. Why? He didn't even play that many games. Hopfer, I can absolutely understand. He is the captain. Ugarte, Gregolin, and Ipe. I don't know what our fans are thinking here, but except from Gregolin and Hopfer, I don't quite understand this. And here is how we lined up. Beck, Hopfer, Reinhardt, Adrio, Ramirez, Valencia, Ludwig, Gregolin, Cesar, Ibe, and also De Paula up top. The accolades, fans, player of the season is Hopfer. Okay, well, I think that's fair. He had a good season again. I mean, he hasn't had a bad season for us. He's very consistent, this guy, that's for sure. Good captain to have. Young player of the season, also Hopfer. Signing of the season is Janin. I think every time I'm seeing this, I feel like there is something wrong with it, because Janin is for sure not signing of the season. Absolutely not. He's a good signing, but he's not signing of the season. But okay. Goal of the season, Cesar. Top goal scorer, De Paula. Top assist is Ramirez. And what else do we have here? Most player of the match awards, De Paula. Highest average rating is De Paula. And most passes completed per 90 is Reinhardt. Do we have any record breakers? We do. Ramirez, 11 assists. So he is the new top assist maker for us. Nice. And Ludwig got the highest transfer fee paid, 2 million. We paid 2 million for Ludwig. Now, I think he's already worth it. To be honest, I think he's already worth it. So yeah, there we go. And let's finish it off with the overall best 11 here. I guess we got 3 new players in here. Or do we? No, only Valencia was picked of the 3 players. The defensive midfielder accumulated 66 appearances. So only Valencia got in here. Okay, so everyone else is the same as the last time. Let's just go through them here. Beruti, Fabinho, Reis, Tressa, Fadini, Fadigas, and the new guy, Valencia, Da Silva, Paula, Tenaglia, and Jurgensen up top. Oh, okay, Gregolin and Ramirez is on the bench, so we do have those 2 coming in. That's nice. But that will be the end of this episode. Next time around, we will go into who are we gonna keep, who are we gonna try and sell, the bands of the formation, and all of that kind of jazz. So guys, I hope you're enjoying it, and I will see you around in the next one.